so much. We'll be right on. Thank you. And please grab some food, some coffee. Get yourself comfortable for today. Thank you.
Good morning. Morning. Apologies once more for the technical issues. We are doing a hybrid event and a little bit of a glitch trying to get our online audience to hear what's in the sanctuary, but we had it worked out, so we're grateful to God for that. So I'll start off real quick with the opening prayer. Father God, we just thank you. We thank you for this time in your presence. We thank you for this program. We thank you for the work that you're doing through this ministry. Lord, as we declare this meeting open, I pray that it will be your words that will be spoken, that which we would say, that which you would do through the speakers. I pray that you use them as worthy vessels to let your name be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. So welcome everyone to the 2026 launch of the Global Leadership Program. On your tables, you will see a signing sheet with a QR code. Please do endeavor to sign in and also connect with DLI through our various social media channels. For our online audience, we also have put the links in the chat, so please engage that way as well. My name is Femi Olomoko. I am the Deputy Director of the Down Leadership Institute, and also in my day job, I'm an IT consulting supporting federal clients. All right, so just to give you a little bit of background about DLI, and we'll have the slide up in a second. So Down Leadership Institute's core mission is to develop leaders that would influence the world. We run 3 main programs. Our Young Professionals Mentoring Program targets our entry-level, mid-level professionals, puts them through a year-long program that empowers them to propel them to growth in their careers and their leadership journey. And you're going to really see our 2025 cohort of our YMP graduating later today in this program. Our second program is our Community Leadership Program, and that program targets building capacity within the community. And one of the ways we do that is through public speaking and empowerment through public speaking. And we run a very successful Toastmasters Club under that program as well. And finally, our Global Leadership Program, which brings us here today, looks at pairing senior level, senior managers, manager level professionals with global leaders as they look to make global impact. And you're going to hear a lot more about DLI and also these programs over the course of today. But just to share some key stats about DLI as we go to the next slide. DLI as a ministry, we started in 2005 when 4 young professionals at this church actually had an idea to start a mentoring program, and under the leadership and guidance of Mrs. Tola Peters, we established our mentoring program, which has blossomed now to the Down Leadership Institute. We have been able to have about 460 plus alums that have gone through our various programs over the course of our years. And we've impacted over 1,000 participants across all our programs. One of the things that we do, especially through our Young Professionals Mentoring Program, is form partnerships with nonprofits where we act as consultants and help them to drive a project from start to finish, something that would add lasting value to the organization. And so we formed partnerships with over 35 nonprofit organizations over the course of the years. And we continue to build a network of over 170 executives, coaches, mentors that have served in some capacity for our programs over the course of the last few years. At the core of what we do, we continue to try to make global impact, and so we have participants across Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and we're looking to continue to expand through our global programs. Many of our participants have a lot of success stories, going on to pursue successful leadership endeavors and entrepreneurial endeavors as well. And at the core of what we do is leadership development, and we continue to bring subject matter expertise, mentors, coaches, like I said, from all walks of life to continue to empower our leaders. So kudos to DLI and the work that has been done over the course of the years to get us here. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up our director, Mrs. Tola Peters. She's the director of the Down Leadership Institute, and she's currently the CEO of Always Green, LLC. She is a certified executive facilitator, leadership coach, and change management practitioner. As a minister, we affectionately call her PT. And Mrs. Peters is passionate about transformational growth and building leadership skills to successfully manage the impact of transitions in organizations and employee career journeys. So without further ado, I welcome Mrs. Tola Peters.
Thank you so much, Femi, and thank you to every single one of you who has made time to come to this August occasion, the GLP lunch and the YMP graduation ceremony. I don't have any planned speech, but I do want to say a few words. And what I want to say is I'm thankful, and I hope all of you are also thankful. I'm so thankful for thus far that God has brought us in this journey, developing leaders. I pray that, even as we continue, that this will be a legacy. It's not something that is a flash in the pan, but something that will last for years and years and years to come. I look at my own journey. I retired in 2023, December, and it's been very interesting. One thing I can say is that, I take off my hat to entrepreneurs everywhere. Having been in corporate for, 30, 40 years, I thought I knew it all. I thought I heard it all. I thought I'd seen it all, but I had not seen or heard or knew anything entrepreneurs go through. And so I doff my hats to them. How many entrepreneurs in the house? Yeah, you deserve a clap. Thank you so much. I just want to also use this opportunity to also thank Jesus House DC leadership. They have been really, really supportive of this program. And it's a program that is spun off. It's not even a program that is dictated to us how we should do it. It's a program that, we have formed, we have developed, and we have used best practice as we know how to do it, and the church has been extremely supportive. So a round of applause to Jesus House DC, Pastor Olu, and all the leaders in Jesus House DC. Is Michael around? Michael is up there. Okay. I wanted Michael to say a word because Michael has been leading the Global Leadership program for quite a while. And I think he's run away because I gave him a heads up that he might be speaking. But he's also a very accomplished professional. And yeah, here he comes. So please give him a round of applause. For almost 8 years or more, he has been carrying the weight of this, making me look good, making all of us look good. And I just want him to just say a word about who he is, because he likes to go behind the scene. And I would like to hand it over to him this morning. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, PT. Before I say anything else, I just wanted to start with gratitude. First to the leadership of Jesus House DC. Thank you so much for the support over the years. I think this 8 years and counting now. I want to say a big thank you to you, PT, for your leadership, for your mentorship over the years. Most people don't know this, but in DLI, PT will either once or twice will bring us together and will bring a leader to speak with us. And it's always a very impactful session. It's been, beneficial for me in my professional and also my personal life. And I just want to say a big thank you to you. Thank you to all our volunteers. It's not just me. We have a army behind this. Koinsola, thank you so much. Dami, thank you so much. Queen Star, John, and a whole lot of army. And even we also have people that support us like, Edith, who every time we call upon you, you're just there to answer and help us with the interview process. Edith leads the Global HR in the World Bank, by the way. So, I lead the GLP, my day job. I lead the North American business transmission practice for Capgemini. You see, the Global Leadership Program, it's not by accident, right? It's a lot of planning, a lot of thoughtful work that has gone into this. And then John will speak about this a little bit in details. I'm particularly excited for this year because of two things. One, this is the first year that we would have 6 mentors, committed to this program. In the past, usually we have 4, and I think once we've had 5, but this year we have 6. The other reason why I'm excited about this year is, it's an AI-driven world, and I'm also excited for the theme of today's session, which is the future of leadership in an AI-driven world. And I think we have the right people to speak to that about it. So I just want to say, congratulations to all the mentees. I personally know some of the global leaders for this year, and these are some of the smartest people that I know, for real. So, be open. You have to, be sure about what you want to get out of this program, and you have to be able to push your mentor together. And it's a mutual relationship. The way you're going to benefit from your mentor, the mentor is also going to benefit from you. So thank you again, everybody, and hope you enjoy the program.
Annual Leadership Institute began in 2005 with the Young Professionals Mentoring Program, YMP. 6 years later, the Community Leadership Program was developed, and in 2017, DLI launched the Global Leadership Program, GLP. Our vision is to develop leaders that will influence the world. The core values that guide DLI are faith, integrity, reliability, and excellence. The Young Professionals Mentoring Program, YMP, is a year-long career and leadership development initiative designed to equip entry or mid-level career professionals or graduate students with the tools, skills, and resources they need to succeed in their personal, professional, and leadership endeavors. YMP achieves this goal by putting its fellows through powerful and innovative monthly workshops on relevant topics including networking, personal mastery, project management, entrepreneurship, and much more. Also, YMP Fellows are paired with experienced mentors that are aligned to the Fellows' field of interest. They put their learning into practice through community projects where they work with nonprofit organizations as consultants providing solutions to their most pressing challenges. Fellows who complete the program have gone on to secure management and executive leadership positions at various organizations, while others have enrolled in top graduate programs or pursued successful entrepreneurial endeavors. DLI's second program is the Community Leadership Program. This program equips members of the community with vital skills to create social change. CLP engages the community through programs such as the Daniel Leadership Toastmasters Club, annual speechcraft, collaborative workshops and seminars, and strategic support for other community organizations and volunteerism opportunities, including Montgomery County Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. CLP's flagship program, Daniel Leadership Toastmasters Club, is part of the Toastmasters International, a globally recognized public speaking and leadership development organization. DLTC members have attained various certifications in communication and leadership, including the highest honors, Distinguished Toastmaster, DTM. For 5 consecutive years, DLTC has maintained Perfect 10 Distinguished Club honors, the highest club recognition. The club continues to attract members of the community of diverse backgrounds to learn in a welcoming environment. The club is currently home to 3 district officials, including the district director who oversees over 5,000 Toastmasters in the DC metro area. In 2017, DLI launched the Global Leadership Program, which is a 6-month mentorship experience connecting mid-level professionals with global leaders all over the world who have achieved incredible success in their careers. The objective of this program is to provide mentees the opportunity to learn directly from world-class leaders about best practices for professional and personal success while gaining access to their network. GLP specifically targets professionals who have shown their capacity as change agents and leaders in their own right. Our global leaders include directors and CEOs of multinationals, high-ranking public officials, as well as experienced entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their fields. Over the course of the program, GLP participants build a strong relationship with their mentors, acquire new skills, confidence, and drive to realize their potential. For more information and to keep up with what DLI is doing, visit our website at www.danielleadershipinstitute.org.
Good morning again, and we are so excited to be your co-hosts. We really enjoy talking to each other because he has a British accent and I have a lovely smile, so we thought, why don't we bring everyone together and be the co-hosts for today's event. My name is Queen Star Karan, and I am the Director of Neighborhood Strategy with the Wilson Institute with the Harlem Children's Zone, and I get the pleasure of working with Governor Wes Moore throughout the state of Maryland, focused on the root causes of alleviating childhood poverty. And more importantly to this conversation, I am a proud YMP alum, I believe 2015 or 2016, and also with the Daniel Toastmasters Club as well. So John, over to you.
Thank you so much, Queen Star. I see lots of familiar faces in the room, but for the benefit of those who don't know me, my name is John Ubani Jr. By day, I am a media and intellectual property lawyer, but by evening, night, and weekend, I'm also a volunteer for the Daniel Leadership Institute, and I've been working with DLI on and off for about 10 years or so. And I also have another connection to this church, which is that I am a proud member of the Jesus House DC football team as a player and as a coach as well. So before we introduce our 2026 mentors and mentees, and I hand back to Queen Star, I thought it would be helpful to briefly do 3 things. Number 1 is just give you a brief overview of what the GLP program is. Number 2 is talk about what we've achieved with the program over the past 7-8 years or so. And then finally, just briefly talk about why the program is so dear to our hearts. So firstly, what is GLP? GLP is a mentorship and leadership program for professionals, and the aim is to really help professionals to amplify their business and leadership skills. Another way to think of GLP is to view it like an alternate factory for producing future business and corporate leaders. Now, how do we do that? Firstly, we identify professionals with high leadership potential, and then we match them up with senior experienced business leaders, with senior corporate executives who can guide them, coach them, mentor them, impart the benefits of their wisdom and experience in order to hopefully create a new generation of future business and corporate leaders. Now, it's also pertinent to mention that GLP is not a standalone program. It's really more like a pathway. So Femi earlier on briefly talked about the Young Professionals Mentoring Program. That program, YMP, is more really aimed at professionals who are closer to the early part of their career path, whereas GLP is more targeted at professionals who are more mid to senior career level. So by us offering both YMP and GLP, we really provide professionals with a continuous development pathway throughout their careers to keep developing their skills, to keep developing their leadership aspirations. In terms of what we've achieved so far, this year and this intake is a very, very seminal year and a very seminal intake for both DLI and GLP. Firstly, it's the 20th anniversary year of DLI. And this 2026 cohort that we are inducting today is the 8th cohort of GLP as well. So there's two things about those 7-8 years that for GLP that I want to just call out. One is the number of people that have gone through the program. If we combine the number of mentors and mentees, we've had about nearly 80 people go through the GLP program. But what's equally, if not more impressive, is not just the number of people that have gone through the program, but where they're from. So in terms of geographic impact, we've had mentors and mentees from 11 different countries in 4 different continents. Why am I telling you all this, and why am I going to such lengths to give you all these facts and figures? It's really to demonstrate that the global in GLP, it's not just a catchphrase. We really, really do live the brand name, and from right here in Silver Spring, Maryland, we truly offer a genuine global leadership program. So we really do what it says on the tin, as they proverbially say. So while we are very, very proud of those things that I've mentioned, the geographic impact, the number of people that have been through the program, we do have to be thankful to others, because we could not have executed any of these things without, firstly, our mentors, past and present, and we thank each and every single one of them, both here and past, for their commitment and leadership. We also thank our mentees, past and present as well, for their commitment and for their participation as well. And speaking of mentees, I think that's a good segue to turn back to Queenstar to speak to some of our GLP alum.
For sure. So as you can see, we are big ambassadors of this program, and we have been personally impacted by this work as well. But I think it's important for us to specifically bring in some of the people who are in the room and also online to share their perspective as well. So we have 3 incredible leaders to come in and tell us a little bit about their experience through GLP. So I'm excited to call our first alumni, Bunmi Akinosotu, a GLP mentee in 2021, and she is now the Director of City Innovation at the Aspen Institute. Would love to have you here. And you have about 1 to 2 minutes to tell us a little bit about your experience.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be back at Jesus House. I was introduced to this wonderful church through my cousin, Tony Duarte, many years ago, and have been a fan of the church. And this program had changed my life in a critical time in my career. So I will just say very quickly, right now, I'm the director of City Innovation. When I joined this wonderful program, I was at Howard University. It was 2021, so not post-pandemic, but we were all kind of inching our way to whatever the thing is that we were going to do post-pandemic, and my team had doubled in size. I was a deputy director. It was under the first Trump administration, and actually under his administration, my program grew in size. He cut the program this year, but nonetheless, at that time, it doubled in size, and I had the responsibility of building up my team virtually. And I was at a loss. I wasn't sure how to do it. I was stressed out still from the pandemic. And so this program came at this critical juncture in my leadership trajectory. My mentor was the wonderful, I think I saw his picture up on the corner, and I smiled because of how amazing he was Mr. Kayode Sholala. And he was in South Africa, I believe, at the time. I think he's still there. And I just want to say that the first thing is he's extremely wise. And I came in with my goals. I said I wanted to be a better leader with my team, and I said I wanted to expand my entrepreneurial skills. I wanted to diversify my revenue outside of my 9-to-5 job. And I wanted to broaden my network. And he was all with that. And he was like, how about, what are you reading? He was a big reader, and he's a big writer. And so throughout the course of our time together, we would touch on our goals, but he was always encouraging me to read. He had me write weekly. He encouraged me to write weekly. And he wasn't checking in on me and, saying, where's your stuff? But I felt kind of as you respect people who are older than you, I felt this need to make sure I committed to that goal. And it was wonderful. And he would also bring in faith into the conversation. And again, as someone of faith, it wasn't something I was thinking about in all of my trials with leading other people. And so he was not afraid to whip out a scripture or a story and sort of remind me the source of which I am breathing and which I am even dealing with these problems, right? And so it was just a joy to be with him. And since that program ended, his parting words to me were two things. One is for me to believe in myself. And you hear people say that all the time, and it sounds like, cliche. But it really matters when you're in a context where you feel like you're not believed, if that's the word, or comfortable. It's easy to believe in yourself and everything's wonderful. But when things are not, you need that reminder. And so it's almost like he knew what was going to happen the next 4 or 5 years of my life. He was like, believe in yourself and have confidence that you are exactly where you are for a reason. God put you there for a reason. And so after I left Howard, or actually right before I left Howard, I applied for this position online, not thinking anything. I didn't know anybody. I was like, oh, it's going to be some AI machine that's just going to pass through my resume. I got a phone call, had my interviews, and I got the job. And so it's because of the community of leaders, mentors, wise, I'd say, leadership in my life, including my mentor through GLP, that really gave me the courage to even apply for this, because this is a very prestigious organization. I never considered myself a prestigious person. I just kind of show up and do my job, and I want to go home and watch Netflix. So, so to have this opportunity, and then also just opportunities outside of work, because I believe we're more than our 9-to-5. It sort of poured into those spaces as well. And I became a mom in February. And so his sort of parting words of believe in yourself and confidence shows up when you're raising kids. And when you're low on sleep, you need those words. And so I'm forever grateful to him, grateful to PT for your vision, for this church, and for everybody who pours into this ministry. Thank you.
Thank you. And I thought you touched on a very important thing around the faith component, because there are a lot of professional programs out there, but there are few of them that also bring in that faith perspective, and I think that's what makes GLP specifically unique. Now we have another mentee as well, coming from the class of 2022. We have Delana Johnson, and she is the lead advisor for strategic partnerships and intergovernmental relations at the NIH. So no small ting, no small ting. Let's bring up our mentee, Delana.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me here this morning. I have my phone because I don't want to forget the scripture that I'm going to read at the end of this. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Again, my name is Delana, and I was introduced to this program through a really good friend of mine, Yemisi Odusanya, which I know is a favored person here. She's also one of my favorite people. And I really love how she communicates her vision to me about how God has shown her something. And in this case, God showed her that I should apply for this program as I was transitioning from her here. The mic. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was very nervous, and then I was like, the mic is just gonna add to my anxiety. So if you can hear me, just let me know if I'm gonna keep doing it. So one of the things that my mentor was Dr. Victoria Kwakwa, and I see that she is, again, gonna be a mentor in the program, and one of the things that she brought to me was something that I struggled with like most of my career, and as I transitioned into more of a leadership position, I knew I was gonna struggle with this, is this idea of the imposter syndrome. And you know, I'm like Michael, I really love being behind the scenes, making everybody else look good. And one of the responsibilities working for the NCI and what the vision that they had for this newly created position for me was to be the diplomatic face of the National Cancer Institute. And that was very overwhelming for me to even think about. And Victoria communicated something to me that really stuck with me and helped me to grow in a way professionally, that even if I was the imposter, I was going to be the best person that they ever encountered, and I was the imposter. So what came to me that I thought was really important, we really had a great relationship throughout my entire time in the program. One of the scriptures that came after we had a couple of conversations about me struggling with public speaking and just kind of trying to overcome the anxiety in the spaces that I was going to be in. I mean, I think I've met presidents of countries, I've met ministers of health, and I have a lot of anxiety every single time. I think these people are incredible. I think the fact that, you know, I'm entrusted with communicating scientific information related to cancer, I think is incredible, considering I had no background in cancer, only in public health. But the scripture that came to me that has really guided me since 2022, it has really helped me kind of calm the fear, calm the anxiety that I have every time I think about it. And I want to get it right so that if it's going to be useful to anybody else that might have the same struggles. It's Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. And it's the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. And so I really do want to leave you with that. I think like every month I'm encountering something that is a daunting task for me. And I just love how this scripture kind of helps me see that. And I do believe that every time I face something like that, that God is going to go before me. And so I do have something approaching in February of 2026 where I will be an Embassy Science Fellow in Maputo, Mozambique, where I will be Thank you. Where I will be advising the Ministry of Health on how to implement their cancer control program. So this program has been a wonderful experience for me and really added to every single part of my journey. And so I thank you all.
For somebody who doesn't like public speaking, you did a great job. So let's make sure we give her another round of applause, because I'm sure she was very nervous doing that. And last but not least, I believe this person will be joining us virtually. We have Bayodun Adekola, a GLP mentee in 2019 and a distinguished engineer and director at Capital One Bank. Do we have his video? Okay.
Yes. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me?
They will be joining in just a second, live on video.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So are you still taking the video, or do you just want me to speak?
You can speak. I think we should be good now. Perfect. We'll try to get him at the end. And maybe for the audio people, if we could reduce the echo. All right, so now this is the time that we are excited to bring up my favorite British man, John, to come and tell us about the 6 mentors that will be part of this year's cohort, and to introduce and let you know some of the amazing caliber of people that we have in this program. John?
And before I introduce our mentors, I want to just say thank you so much to the alumni who shared their professional journeys, and thanks as well, especially to them, for being so authentic in giving their reflections and their feedback. So in terms of the mentors, every year in GLP, we always have a distinguished set of mentors, and this year is absolutely no different. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to the 2026 set of global mentors, and in no particular order, I will start with Dr. Victoria Kwakwa. So Dr. Kwakwa has an amazing CV. She is a seasoned economist and development leader with over 3 decades of experience at the World Bank. She has a bachelor's degree in economics and statistics from the University of Ghana, and she has a master's degree, also in economics, from Queen's University in Canada. And in addition, she has a PhD, also in economics, specializing in international trade, finance, and monetary policy, also from Queen's University in Canada. Now, during her career, Dr. Kwakwa has served in several senior leadership positions within the World Bank. These include being Vice President for East Asia and the Pacific, Vice President for Corporate Strategic Initiatives, and most recently, being the Regional VP for Eastern and Southern Africa. During her tenure in Southern and Eastern Africa, she oversaw the bank's engagement across 26 countries,
managed an active portfolio of several hundred operations valued at tens of billions of dollars. Her work has addressed a broad spectrum of development issues, from infrastructure to water and sanitation, energy access, climate resilience, human capital, education, digital inclusion, and economic transformation. She's emphasized inclusive growth, fostering human development, and strengthening macroeconomic resilience and fiscal decentralization. Please, please help me to thank Dr. Victoria Akakwa for being a global leader. Our second leader is Mr. Wale Abioye, who's a partner in the strategy and customer solutions practice at KPMG West Africa. In this role, he partners with boards and executive teams to design and deliver enterprise-wide strategy, digital transformation, and customer growth agendas that reshape markets and unlock long-term value. He's led multi-million-dollar programs in financial services, retail, telecoms, and other sectors, consistently driving measurable gains in market share, profitability, and customer loyalty. As a partner at KPMG, he leads one of Africa's largest financial services customer insight programs, spanning banking, pensions, insurance, and other sectors, capturing over 30,000 customer voices annually to inform corporate strategy, influence regulatory priorities, and shape sector transformation. With transformation engagements across West, East, and Southern Africa, Europe, and North America, he brings global perspective to local challenges. He's also a regular speaker at C-suite and industry forums on digital innovation, customer-centric growth, and the strategic application of AI, which of course is today's theme. He holds a Bachelor of Pharmacy degree from the University of Lagos and a master's degree in International Business and Management from the Alliance Manchester Business School in England. Please, please help me to thank Mr. Wale Abioye for being a global leader. So the third person, our third global leader, is a leader in this church, someone who many of us know very, very well. Pastor Chinyere Olujide is the executive pastor of Jesus House DC, a thriving multinational non-denominational church, which you are sitting in right now. With nearly 30 years of active ministry experience, Pastor Chinyere is widely recognized for her ability to translate organizational vision into practical, sustainable outcomes. She's a trusted resource for training, consultation, and leadership transformation within the church and ministry context. Prior to her role at JHDC, Pastor Chinyere spent over a decade in the IT and multimedia industry, serving as a systems analyst, graphic designer, database programmer, and IT consultant. She has a bachelor's degree in maths and computer science, a diploma in theology, and multiple other certifications in leadership and people management. She also has a Master of Divinity degree from Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, with a concentration in Christian apologetics, and is currently pursuing, in addition to that, a doctorate in strategic leadership at the same institution. As if that wasn't enough, in addition, even more to her ministry leadership, Pastor Chinyere is the president and CEO of Blessings Foods, Inc., an authentic West African food manufacturing company. And through this venture, she produces the flavorful Blessings Foods jollof rice seasoning, now available on Amazon. So we've got the plug in there. We're also advertising on behalf of Pastor Chinyere. Pastor Chinyere is also an author, coach, gifted teacher, strategist, inspirational speaker, event convener, entrepreneur, and, very, very importantly, a proud mother of 3 young adult men, who I have had the pleasure of meeting. A lifelong learner and devoted student of Scripture, she is deeply mission-minded and passionate about equipping leaders to thrive. When she's not engaged in ministry, work, school, or family life, you may find Pastor Chinyere singing and playing her guitar. Please help me to thank Pastor Chinyere for being a global leader. Our next leader is Ms. Yetunde Olumide, who is an accomplished finance executive with over 2 decades of experience spanning manufacturing, food service, education, and transportation. She served as Executive Vice President and CFO at the Washington Metropolitan Area Transit Authority, WMATA, as it's known for most of us. And while at WMATA, she oversaw the authority's entire financial obligations, including budget planning and execution, revenue collection, grant management, asset and liability accounting, and long-range financial strategy. Before joining WMATA, where she's held multiple roles for more than a decade, she built broad financial leadership experience in various sectors, including roles at firms such as Schlumberger and Newell Rubbermaid. Her training includes a BS degree in finance from Tuskegee University and an MBA in international business from Loyola College, which have equipped her with a diversified perspective on fiscal management and cross-industry finance operations. Her leadership has consistently placed her at the intersection of public infrastructure, urban mobility, and financial stewardship, where she brought together corporate financial discipline and public sector accountability. As a member of the Aspen Global Leadership Network, she's been an active contributor to global dialogues on finance, governance, and inclusive growth, serving as a bridge between US transit, finance, and broader international leadership networks. Please also help me to thank Ms. Yetunde Olumide for being a global leader. And they just keep on coming with these fantastic CVs. Another one, my goodness. Our next leader is Ms. Funke Amobi, who is the Executive Director, Operations at Stanbic IBTC Bank in Nigeria, where she oversees core banking operations, shared services, and enterprise data operations. In addition to her operational mandate, she's been recognized as a global HR and people development leader. She was also appointed as an honorary professional fellow at the Lancaster University Management School in England. She has a career spanning over 25 years, which spans across sectors like oil and gas, telecoms, banking. She also combines deep operational know-how with a strong track record in organizational development, talent management, and culture building. She holds a bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Lagos and an MBA from Lancaster University, which she obtained with a distinction. So let's give her credit for that. And in addition, she also has postgraduate certifications in organizational development and career management. Through her leadership, she significantly shaped workforce strategy, employee engagement, and institutional culture at Stanbic, all while maintaining high standards of operational efficiency. Beyond banking, she's been recognized internationally as a champion for women's empowerment, youth employability, and career development, and she often speaks at conferences and forums on HR leadership, talent development, and workplace transformation. Please help me to thank Ms. Funke Amobi for being a global leader. And last but definitely not least, another amazing CV coming up. Mr. Roland Oko, who serves as Co-Chief Technology Officer at Moore Capital Management, which is a prominent global investment firm. He's held this role since 2012, overseeing technology strategy, architecture, and systems development to support the firm's trading, risk management, and operational capabilities. His background spans more than 2 decades in software development and technical architecture, starting from his early career as a developer at Swifter Systems, then working through consulting and development roles at HSBC Bank before he transitioned to the investment management industry. Educationally, he has a BSc degree in computer science from the University of Benin in Nigeria, and a PhD in computer science from the University of Manchester in England, and he combines deep technical expertise with strategic vision, and in his role at Moore Capital, he bridges advanced technology from systems and infrastructure to software development with financial markets operations, which enable the firm to harness scalable, robust technology solutions in a high-stakes, high-velocity environment. Please help me to thank Mr. Roland Okor for being a global leader. So it's time for me to hand over to my co-host, Queen Star, who's going to introduce you to the mentees that these global mentors are going to be paired with.
Thank you so much. And I think this was mentioned earlier, but this is an incredibly prestigious program. And it's important to know that the selection process for being selected as a mentee is highly competitive. And so we received a high number of applicants from around the world, and each mentee is intentionally chosen, and because we carefully look at their strengths and their capabilities, and also see their needs and see how they can be paired with mentors as well. And so being selected for this program is a significant achievement, and we just want to give a shout out to all of the mentees that were selected this year. So our 6 illustrious mentees are Suzio Masuka Nagando, who's the Director of Access Corporate Consultants based in Zambia. Let's give a round of applause. Next, we have Tope Nwose, who's the Executive Director, Impact Management Specialist with Remy Foundation for Children USA. Let's give a round of applause. We have Femi Olurunfemi, an IT security specialist based in Canada. Rita Kamazima, a Director of Programming and Training at the Peace Corps based in Jamaica. We have Nalayunge Farida Lule, Executive Director, Ushahidi Foundation based in Uganda. And then we have Ikuya Owusua Donier, Risk Manager, Central Bank of Ghana, based in my home country, Ghana. And so, drum roll please, we're going to tell each mentee who they are going to be paired with and what their focus areas are. We have Dr. Victoria Kwakwa, and Suzio Masukwa Ngandu, and they will be paired together. Their goals are to gain exposure to advanced learning and development methods, to build global networking opportunities, and to replicate and share acquired knowledge in Zambia. So very excited for this partnership for the 2 of them. Up next, we have Walo Abioe and Ikuya Owusua Donier. Ikuya wants to develop her strategic communication skills. She wants to acquire practical leadership tools and frameworks to make informed decisions and to drive change. She also wants to expand her leadership network, which is very apropos for this program. Up next, Pastor Chinwe Olujide and Rita Kamazima. Rita is focused on adapting and applying her leadership experience to a new national context. She wants to build her strong change leadership skills grounded in cultural humility. I love that, cultural humility. And then establish a global interdisciplinary leadership and mentorship network. Let's clap for that pairing as well. Ronald Akua and Femi Olurunfemi Femi wants to strengthen his leadership and strategic problem-solving skills. He wants to expand his professional network and also apply insights from the program to real-world challenges. Round of applause. We have Yetunde Olumide and Nalayunge Faride Lule. She's focused on enhancing her global perspective, strengthening her leadership and cross-cultural teams in order to lead cross-cultural teams and to improve her communication skills. Round of applause. And last but certainly not least, we have Funke Amobi and Tope Nwose. They are focused on gaining clarity and direction on the next phase of her career, developing a strategic roadmap for establishing her own consulting firm, so another entrepreneur in the building, and then strengthening and scaling her nonprofit work in Nigeria. So a major round of applause for our pairings this year. As you can see, this is truly global, spanning continents, spanning different works, professional networks as well. So major, major congratulations to all of the mentees and mentors in the building. So I will have John here to introduce some of the main things that we have been kind of previewing this whole time around the impact of artificial intelligence in our business context. So excited to bring John up as we talk about our keynote addresses around AI.
Thank you so much, Queen Star. So we have not one, but we have two keynote addresses for you today on something which I am absolutely certain has impacted every single person in this room. It's impacted the way we work. It's impacted the way we learn. It's impacted the way we teach, the way we study. Of course, referring to AI. So to deliver the first of our keynote speeches on the impact of artificial intelligence, I'm going to welcome Ms. Yetunde Olumide to speak about the future of leadership in an AI-driven world.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Talk about imposter syndrome, yeah? I'm like, did they make a mistake? Pastor Chinwe, I love your profile. I always admire and I love your profile. I just wanted to let you know. But good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you to, of course, Pastor Olumide, Pastor Shea, Ugunju Igbe, all senior leaders in the house, fellow Daniel Leadership Institute fellows, past and present, and distinguished guests, good morning. So it's an honor to address you this morning on the future of leadership in an AI-driven world. Let me start by defining this latest buzz phrase, and thank you to our co-hosts who did an awesome job bringing it up. Thank you so much. So just a quick definition, like any good researcher, I quickly took to ChatGPT, all right, on this one for a first pass at the definition. So AI refers to computer systems designed to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as learning from data, reasoning and problem solving, understanding language, recognizing images and patterns, and making decisions and predictions. Simply put, AI is about making machines smart, able to sense, think, and act in ways that resemble human behavior. I know some of us thought, this sounds like it should be the other way around, but no. So if you woke up this morning, you got yourself ready, made it to this program, whether physically or virtually, you employed AI in one way or another. We can take a few examples. Facial recognition on your phones. Let me say, you can raise your hand if you do not have facial recognition on your phone. We'll send someone to help you real quick. You don't have? Okay. Easy examples. All right. What about Alexa? Netflix or YouTube recommendations, right? Fraud detection in banking, chatbots or virtual assistants. These are all different types of AI that we employ every single day. So our reality is that AI has already infiltrated our lives, professionally, personally. It's a fast-growing industry or a way of life with few regulations passed to date. So in my research, I took a look and I'm like, there's some buzz about it. I want to hear what our governments have done to safeguard us concerning AI. And I came across two regulations centered around Europe and one, I think, loosely around the entire world. But I'll take them quickly. The first one is the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act of 2023. One of the first laws passed on AI, and it introduces a uniform framework across all EU countries based on futuristic and risk-based approaches. It addresses potential risks to citizens' health, safety, and fundamental rights. We can go into a lot more detail, but I want to jump to the second one. The Council of Europe Framework Convention on Artificial Intelligence and Human Rights, Democracy, and the Rule of Law is the first ever internationally recognized legally binding treaty in this field. So this opened for signature late in 2024. It aims to ensure that activities within the life cycle of artificial intelligence systems are fully consistent with human rights, democracy, and rule of law, while being conducive to technological progress and innovation. So I'll be talking about Europe quite a bit. The third piece is that right now in the US doesn't have any one single federal AI law, but rather a growing patchwork of state-level regulations and non-binding federal guidance, with recent executive actions aiming for a national framework while states push forward on rules for transparency and risk management, leading to a complex compliance landscape. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done here in the United States, right? So while some federal guidance exists, we're still working on a comprehensive national law that governs AI, still emerging, a work in process. So given an obvious gap in standardized AI regulations across the world, leaders are thrust into a fast-growing global ecosystem with little guidance, and such environments, I think, are proving grounds for leaders. So the question begs, how do we manage processes, projects, departments, and organizations while protecting the fundamental human ecosystem this very technology is created to enhance? AI, if well deployed, actually makes repeatable processes faster while reducing waste by cutting down on setup and runtime if you're in manufacturing, lead or downtime in transportation, and increases accuracy in accounting systems, just as a few examples. So as previously discussed, we're already in the change process. People tend to respond to change in different ways, right? Change processes often stall not because of the technology or the strategy, but as a result of human response. So the Kubler-Ross change curve, I know some of you have probably heard of this if you've been involved in any kind of ERP or systems integration. This change curve was initially developed as a grief model, right? It is now widely accepted in change management to map our emotions from denial all the way to acceptance. In organizational settings and in the context of AI, this change curve helps change leaders anticipate resistance. It helps to tailor communications and design interventions that meet people individually where they are. The resistance phase starts with shock, denial, anger, blame, bargaining, and then full-on depression. You will hear phrases like, and if you haven't heard any of these phrases, I want to know where you work. So you hear phrases like, this will never work, or I would rather quit. They don't pay me enough for this. Oh, hell no. Or oh, I'm out of here. These are all normal human reactions, which speaks, again, to our insecurities. We then move to exploration, decision to accept, and integration. In this phase, we hear phrases like, if you can't beat them, join them, thank you. We hear, okay, I guess we can give it a try. We hear, looks like this could be a good thing. Or in my language, you hear, oh yeah, bebe. Or I could join them, oh. You know. So as leaders in our various environments, we must first accept that those whom we lead will react in different ways to the change that is artificial intelligence. Armed with that knowledge, don't fight your team. They are not the enemy. Don't rebuke them. Don't pull out scriptures and start to cast and bind. They are not the enemy. It's part of the process. Most people actually want the result of the change, but are intimidated by the fear of the unknown. So we can take a few startling examples, and I had some pictures here, but I don't think they're ready. A few startling examples. So the first mobile phone was created by Martin Cooper, a Motorola engineer, back in 1973. That was 52 years ago. He made the first call to his competitor, Joe Engel of AT&T Bell Labs, and the first cell phone was the size of a brick, right? And it would only make limited calls. Fast forward to 2025, 60 to about 64% of the global population owns a smartphone. That's about 4.8 to over 5 billion people. With smartphones, we have AI literally at our fingertips and access to the entire world. There are many advantages to having a device equipped with artificial intelligence versus prior forms of communication. Examples are speed in manufacturing, reliability in transportation, financial data security, and efficiency and ease in daily activities. So how do we get our teams on board as leaders? We've gone down memory lane. We've established its usefulness in the workplace and in our homes as well. So a few key things. As leaders, we should, first, we want to focus on solving specific problems, not just on the technology. Secondly, we identify a niche like customer service or accounts payable that we would like to focus on. We also want to show clear return on investment, which is time versus money saved. And number 4, we should use simple automations first, like chatbots or data sorting. And lastly, offer trials and proof of concepts and build trust by demonstrating value without overpromising complex solutions or agents initially. Getting teams on board requires softer skills as well. Leaders should be prepared to focus on value, not just the AI. Emphasize training and upskilling your workforce. Ensure worker voice and involvement. Include your teams in the process. Take them along for the ride. Don't surprise them with a solution at the end of the journey. And then negotiate clear guardrails and protections for the teams. I was recently involved in a conversation around automating some parts of a transit system. And immediately there was uproar from the staff. It was a unionized environment. And they're like, no, this thing has come to take our jobs. And what are you going to do about it? We quickly reassured the staff members that, yes, technology is evolving. We're adopting some more efficient ways to do things. But that doesn't mean that you're being outed. There is no conversation about a reduction in force because we are adopting new AI methodologies. And instead, we're going to train you, we're going to upskill you, we're going to redeploy you around the organization, find out where your skills can be deployed throughout the organization. And lastly, we want to negotiate clear guardrails and protections as well. Very clear. A few key benefits to highlight: increased safety and reduced tedium. So where you had to count numbers one by one on your abacus or in your Excel, now we have much better or chatbots or programming inbuilt into your Excel on wheels that can do a whole lot more for you, where you're not doing those tedious tasks one by one. So again, it's increased safety and reduced tedium. Secondly, it's an enhanced job security. If you're able to adapt and learn the new technology, you're marketing yourself all over again. You are evolving with the environment, and you are keeping from becoming a dinosaur in the workplace. Thirdly, this could actually lead to stronger union or workforce power, as you are able to renegotiate your labor agreements moving forward and incorporate some of the new technology that has been learned throughout the organization into those agreements. So by focusing on collaboration, negotiation, and tangible worker benefits, AI can be successfully integrated into the workplace with team support. Very important to talk about team support. I want to thank you for taking the time to attend today. I am here in person. I had written this as though I wouldn't be here in person, but I am here in person, and I'm glad I made it. This is not AI standing in front of you. That's the real deal. So thank you so much. Thank you, PT. Thank you to the leadership team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Olumide, for that really informative address. We have a second keynote address, which is going to be virtual, but while our AV team are preparing that, I thought I'll just call out a few things from your address that really resonated with me and that I really enjoyed. It's maybe 3 or 4 things. What I really liked is that, as well as calling out the benefits of AI, you focused on practical implementations, micro and macro, in everyday life. And also just some things for us to think about, where because we're so excited about AI, we tend to just reflexively apply it in every context we can think of. But what I really enjoyed is you emphasizing the need, one, to rationalize why are we applying AI, kind of justify its existence. Is it going to improve processes? Is it going to create efficiencies? Is it going to make things better? And also one that with big companies is very topical, which is, what does AI do to the existing workforce? I really appreciated you kind of emphasizing the need to reassure human employees that AI is a tool to support them, not to replace them. And then I'm going to declare a personal interest, which is something to keep an eye on in the future. I don't want to say it's alarming, but just the lack of umbrella regulatory oversight over AI. So that's really something for all of us to keep working on, keep thinking about as we start to apply AI. So we have another address, another keynote address, which will be by Mr. Wale Abioye, who can't be here in person, but I understand the AV team are going to play his address virtually on video on the big screen. So I will turn it over to my colleagues Femi and Michael to do that.
Good day, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Over the next 10 minutes, I want to offer my thoughts on the future of leadership in an AI-driven world. When many people think about great leadership, they often think of individuals who can provide answers to some of the world's hardest questions, whether it's resolving long-standing conflicts like we have in the Middle East or in Russia and Ukraine, or tackling global health issues like malaria, or addressing complex technology challenges. We often equate leadership with having the solution. And that's right. Today, artificial intelligence, AI, accelerates that possibility. And we see it in healthcare diagnostics, where AI can detect diseases earlier and more accurately than ever before. In precision agriculture, where AI across the world is now helping farmers predict yields, optimize water use, and virtually guarantee healthier crops. We see it all around us in personalized education, where learning now adapts to each student's pace and strengths, and maybe even in preparing a church message. But while AI can now provide more answers than any human leader ever could, the truth is, in an AI-driven world, the real power of leadership lies not in having answers, but in asking the right questions. And even as AI becomes more agentic, meaning AI is able to take initiative and act autonomously, the most important questions will remain human ones, and they should rightly remain human ones. What should we optimize for? What boundaries shouldn't we cross? And what values should guide our decisions? So what must characterize future leadership in an AI-driven world? I'll share 3 things. The first for me is purpose, because in a world shaped by AI, asking the right questions becomes a leadership skill. But beneath every good question is something deeper. Why is it being asked? AI can generate options, AI can generate recommendations at scale, but it can't decide what truly matters. That remains a human responsibility and should remain so. Purpose becomes that filter that determines which questions are worth asking, which trade-offs are acceptable, and which outcomes are non-negotiable. Without it, AI simply optimizes for efficiency. We build great models, but they just optimize for efficiency, while leaders lose sight of meaning and impact. And we see it already in practice. So in healthcare, in hospitals, some organizations use AI to push volume, to reduce costs, which ultimately drives burnout and poorer patient outcomes. Whilst others anchor AI to a clearer purpose, better patient outcomes, and more time for human care. Now, you see, the difference is not in the technology, it's in the question. One question, the former would be, how do we move patients faster? How do we get more volumes? Versus, where does AI give doctors more time to do what only humans can? So purpose shapes the question. And in this case, purpose also shapes the result. So, purpose in an AI-driven world is not a slogan. It's a compass. So leaders who are clear on it ask better questions, draw firmer boundaries, and use AI to create lasting value rather than short-term gains. Secondly, adaptability. If purpose determines what questions leaders ask, adaptability determines how quickly they're willing to revise those questions when the world changes, as it's rapidly doing so. In an AI-driven environment, the half-life of answers is shrinking rapidly. What worked 6 months, 3 months ago may already be obsolete, not because it was wrong, but because the context has shifted. Now, adaptive leaders are those who are comfortable saying, hey, that assumption no longer holds. What do we need to rethink? What do we need to redo? How do we take a different approach? So leadership today must be defined by adaptability, the ability not just to cope with change, but to embrace it, to champion it, and to guide others through it. And if you overlay this with the arrival of new generations in the workplace, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and sometime in the future, Gen Beta, all entering the workplace with new expectations, new ways of thinking, then it means leaders must create environments where questioning the status quo is encouraged, not resisted. So in the future, the most effective leaders won't be those who master every new tool, and there's so many of them, but those who create cultures where experimentation is safe, learning is continuous, and change is normalized. AI accelerates a lot of this change, but adaptability determines whether leaders can stay ahead of it or overtake it by all of the change we see. The third attribute would be trust. You would agree with me that one of the greatest failings of leadership in our generation has been the erosion of trust. AI brings unprecedented possibilities, but with it also unprecedented risks. One of the most viral ads from the last NBA finals in the US was an AI generated video that only took $2,000 and 2 days to create, according to the producer. So deepfakes are advancing so rapidly that the truth itself is becoming harder to verify. So in a world where misinformation spreads faster than facts, trust must become the new currency of leadership. So true leaders must rise to become guardians of truth. They must rise to become defenders of accuracy and builders of trust in their people, in their institutions, and in their communities. Now, AI can imitate many things, but AI can't imitate integrity. It can't replicate the consistency, the character, the moral courage that make people follow leaders even when the world feels uncertain. So leaders must demonstrate that efficiency will not come at the expense of ethics, it won't come at the expense of fairness, and it won't come at the expense of humanity. It means setting clear governance, being willing to slow down when the results might look really good, but risks are very high, and taking responsibility when things go wrong. In doing so, leaders then signal that we're deploying AI not to people, but with people. In closing, what does this mean for leadership? In an AI-driven world, the leader who thrives is not the one who knows the most, because AI already knows more. The leader who thrives is the one who can ask the right questions, adapt with speed and openness, lead with integrity in an age of uncertainty, and inspire trust in a world full of doubt, and hold humanity at the center of technological advancement. Leadership will not be defined by the power of our tools, but by the strength of our values. Thank you.
Sincere apologies for that audio. I think there are a few places in the world where you can learn about AI. You get Bible verses and you're inspired, except for Jesus House DC. You know? I don't think there are a lot of places that are giving you some real leadership, things that are actually going on in the real world that are helping us professionally develop ourselves, while also walking out with some faith-based content as well. So thank you so much. All right, so we're going to hear from our last 4 global leaders with short messages from them. We're going to start first with Ms. Kwakwa, who will be joining us virtually with a video as well.
Again, to be part of this program. As you've heard, I was part of the program earlier, and I'm delighted to see Delana, who I worked with, thriving and doing well. Delana, I really want to give you a shout out and to say congratulations on all that you've achieved. I'm continue to be humbled and really feel privileged to have the opportunity to play this role and to give back some of what others have sown into me. So just a short few points. First of all, I think we've said that to be successful in this program, mentor, mentee really need to engage with it to give off their best. I think that's obvious for everything that we do. But I think for the mentees, it's good, as I've heard, to have your goals really clear, to speak up and to ask questions and really to help shape what you get out of this. So I just wanted to say that to start with. On the broader issue of leadership, I wanted to say, for me, one of the nuggets that I take away from my experience is the importance of really bringing your values into your leadership, because that's what defines you. That's your core. And that anchors you in whatever you do, because otherwise you're just going to be, you know, moved around and shaped by the different job opportunities or leadership opportunities that you have. So it's really important that you are anchored, you are grounded, and I think your values really can serve to provide you that. A final point I would make is that it's okay to lead from behind. I think every time we tend to think the leader must always be in front. And yes, sometimes leadership is about leading from the front, but oftentimes it's okay to lead from behind, and you can be just as effective leading from behind. It doesn't mean you ditch your responsibilities. It doesn't mean that you don't do what you needed is needed to be done. But they're different styles, and either can work. And you can be an effective leader leading from the front, but also leading from behind. So want to wish all the mentees and the mentors good success in this session. I'm looking forward very much to being part of this year's program and continuing to contribute and also learning from all of us. Thank you.
We're seeing that values are very important as we think about our leadership as well. So up next, our next global leader who will be speaking will be Funke. Thank you so much. Can we have that up? Thank you. I think that should...
Thank you very much indeed. I'd like to start by thanking the leadership of this great institute, the Daniel Leadership Institute, for this brilliant vision. As I listened to the testimonials from the alumni, I absolutely felt supercharged, because I said to myself, I mean, it's all about impact. I mean, we can't be talking about the storyline of this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful initiative and not have testimonials to go with it. So I was really, really excited to see and hear, you know, the voice of those who've gone ahead and who testify of the impact of this wonderful initiative on their careers and their business journeys. On that note, I'd like to say to the mentees who've come on this stream, a big congratulations, because we're beginning a transformational journey. The beauty of transformation, growth, is that in a mentoring relationship, indeed, it can be two-way. The mentor gets to grow, the mentee gets to grow by the simple interaction we have with one another. So I'm looking forward to a journey of mutual benefits. Now, the truth is, for exceptional mentoring relationships never end. You just would find that the doors just remain open. So I'm looking forward to a relationship with my mentee that's not going to end, one that's going to begin with Daniel Leadership Institute and it's going to continue, you know, for the lifetime, you know, of both parties. I'd like to leave three very instructive sort of anchors that have aided me in my past journey as a mentor. As a matter of fact, even as a mentee, because I've been mentored multiple times in my career life as well. I'd like to ask that mentees, please remain focused on your goals, because the truth is, you get out of a mentoring relationship what you put into it. If you put in clarity, you will definitely reap in that regard. If you put in diligence in ensuring that before the sessions you're well articulated, you understand what the session is going to be about and what you're looking forward to getting from your mentor, the truth is you will get out significantly more than you thought you would. I'd like you to embrace growth. Embrace growth with, that degree of it's now or never. I want this growth to happen now. I want this change to happen now. It's always about mentoring, that impactful outcomes from mentoring is always about the eagerness of the mentee to say it's got to be now. Embrace growth. Embrace growth in the now. And as we go into this journey, beloved, faith matters. I like the fact that the Daniel Leadership Institute is faith-based. And that's really what excited me when Pastor Tulu invited me onto this. I thought, look, I've been doing mentoring for a long time, career mentoring. I've been driving and anchoring mentoring movements, okay, for over decades. But hey, non-faith-based. So I was excited on this particular construct. So I'd like to say to all mentees and mentors, let's just be rallying, let's rally around to the faith base as well. Faith matters. Let faith be the foundation of this relationship that we're going into today. Leadership is about purpose, vision. And when it is integrated and entrenched in faith, then clearly you know that there are no limits. Because you see, when we talk about transformation and growth, the Bible tells us all of that comes from the Lord. Promotion comes from God. Growth comes from God. Increase comes from God. So as we go into a relationship, supporting one another to achieve growth, okay, to get into the fulfillment of destiny, full expression of talent, let's rally around our faith. And I know that this is going to be another round of testimonials for the Daniel Leadership Institute as we go into another stream. I'm very delighted to be a part of this. I'm grateful to Pastor Tulu for bringing me on board, and I look forward to a great, great outing. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Ms. Funke Amobi. Last but not least, actually, we have one more virtual, and then we are going to end it in person with our very own Pastor Chinyere. But last but not least, virtually joining us is Mr. Roland Okua. Mr. Roland, are you there virtually for us for your remarks?
Good morning, everyone. I am delighted to be here today, and I'm incredibly honored to be part of this program. The goals of this program deeply resonate with me, and I'd like to appreciate the efforts of everyone who's been involved in such a worthy cause. Countless literature has been written on the subject of leadership, and of course, it can also be very easy to fall into the trap of thinking that leadership begins when one acquires a fancy title or something of that sort. Personally, as I have grown in my own life and career, I found it to be defined by a certain kind of resourcefulness that underpins a drive to do better and to, frankly, radiate that drive outwards in whatever environment that I find myself in. I do recognize the privilege of being asked to serve as a mentor within this program, as well as the responsibility that comes with it. I'm very much looking forward to engage over the next 6 months in what I believe will be a mutual learning experience. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. And last, truly last in our presence is Pastor Chinyere. Pastor Chinyere, please join us to share a couple of remarks as well.
Good afternoon, everybody. I must say I've been set up because my friend here was asking me, are you speaking today? I said, of course not. I'm just attending this event. But as I noticed they kept calling all the global leaders, I turned to Pastor Tulu. I said, I hope this is not what I think it is. She said, oh, no, you can speak. So here goes what I did not prepare for. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here and to be part of this amazing occasion. And it's interesting to see my picture on screen and to listen to all the things that were said about me. You know how it is, we're wondering who are they talking about? But your face is next to the words. So I'm grateful to be part of this journey. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be mentoring someone globally. As I've been doing my personal Bible study, I'm currently reading about Jacob. And Jacob is at the point where he's leaving his in-laws' house and he's going back to his father's house. And he's afraid because he thinks his brother Esau is going to come and finish him on the way home because old issues of the past were about to catch up with him. But he prayed a prayer and he said, Lord, when I left my father's house, I had only a staff. But now look at me, I'm two bands of provision, men servants, women servants, wives, and children. And I look at myself and I say, I don't know how I'm standing here today doing what I'm doing, even in the role that I play. My children always tease me when they remind me that I left Nigeria with not even a suitcase, but a duffel bag. And my children will say yes, and a hope and a dream. So, but this is how far God has brought me. And I'm grateful that I'm about to play that role in someone else's life. And leadership is something I admire a whole lot about Jesus. I like to learn from his style of leadership because he is my role model, and I love the way that he brought people to himself and transformed their lives. So I try to mimic him, and I'm not there yet because he keeps teaching me so many things about my life to help me keep getting better. So this is going to be a journey for me. Even as God uses me to touch somebody else's life, I feel I will grow as well in the process. So I'm looking forward to this, and I feel that God has been preparing me for such a time as this, even though I tried to dodge when I was voluntold to do this. But when I thought about my own schedule and how busy it's going to be, but I felt God saying, no, this is the time that you need to do this. So I'm very grateful to God. And I'm going to end with this scripture from John 9, verse 4. And this is Jesus speaking. He said, I must work the works of him who sent me while it's day. The night comes when no man can work. So this is the time for me to do the work, and I believe for all of us too, because the time comes when you can't work. Thank you very much to everyone that's going to be part of this as the mentees, and I want to appreciate all my fellow global leaders as well. I appreciate you all. I want to recognize the presence of my senior pastor as well, who is here, Pastor Lumide. Thank you very much. And for Jesus House DC for giving us all this opportunity. God bless you.
Thank you so much. So we have a testimonial from the GLP mentee that we didn't get to hear earlier, and then we have the YMP ceremony, and then we'll hear from our Pastor Lumide, and then we will be done. So we want to be very mindful of people's time. It's Saturday afternoon, and so we will try to get this done as swift as possible. So do we have Bayadun's message up to be shown? All right. Leading with the YMP graduation ceremony.
Thank you, Queen Star. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for your attendance and your patience in dealing with us. I also lead the Toastmasters Club as well, and we do it on a hybrid basis. And so what that means is it's kind of difficult to engage people both virtually and in person, so bear with us as we deal with the technical difficulties. But nevertheless, I'm here to talk about the YMP program. It's been established since 2007. I also am a graduate, and it's a fantastic opportunity for those who are recently out of college between 1 to 2 years, or those looking to get a career burst or figure out the next steps in their program. And so what this program is just under a year as we go to the next slide, which is a faith-based, as you all can read, a faith-based program with a series of workshops and a number of different program drivers. And with us today, we have one of our workshop presenters, Ms. Edith Umole. Thank you very much, Edith, as well as PT, who also led one of our workshops. And we do a whole bunch of things with regards to not only book reviews, but journal presentations. We have a coaching program, as well as community projects, which I'm going to talk about as we go forth. But I would not be able to be here in this position without my fantastic volunteers. I want to thank, number one, Lash. Next slide, please. If we can go to our Lakunle Lashebikon, one of our community liaison volunteers, as well as Joanne Afolabi. I would not have been able to do much without them. Additionally, I want to thank Dr., as we go to the next slide, I want to thank Dr. Sheyun Oyewo, as well as Fumi, for all of their work. It's not easy doing this in an administrative capacity, especially with so many people. We had a influx of participants this year of over 200%. Last year only had about 3 graduates. Today I'm proud to say that we had 8 graduates from the YMP program this year. So thank you very much. And so it was a lot to make sure we coordinated and worked with all of them. And so I'm going to read off their names. We had a distributed fellow program. We had people all the way from Nigeria, including Texas. And so coordinating workshops and doing those things was fun to do, but also quite difficult. But I want to congratulate Samuel Modupe, who's also based in Nigeria, as well as Oluwadamilare Alabi, who's also based in Nigeria. Next slide, please. We have Emmanuel Ajayigbe, who's based in Maryland. Couldn't make it today, but he is also a graduate, as well as Miriam Rabiu, one of our fellows, is based in Texas. So we had people all over the U.S. and the entire continent, if you will. Next slide, we have Temilua Olusonya, who was here in the audience. So thankfully, we were able to land a few people here locally, as well as Opayemi Akiwumi, who could not make it today. Next slide. And then last but not least, we have Lola Oleteriolagbegi, who was also here. So thank you very much for attending, Lola. And Miriam Adekunle, who is also based in Nigeria. And so, as you can see, it was very fun to connect with many, many people. And like I said, it's very rigorous. And so one of the things that we historically have always done is have the fellows vote on the Best Fellow Award. And this is a combination of those who were who attended, who participated, who were present, and who hopefully got something from the program. And all of the fellows voted, and the winner is, next slide. It should be Miriam Rabiu. That's not showing, but she's one of the graduates based in Texas. So if she's attending either online or in person, I want to congratulate Miriam Rabiu. We have a gift for you, and so I will be reaching out to you as well. And so I want to sincerely thank all of the volunteers, coaches. Pastor Colette is here. She was a coach. Thank you very much. PT, one of our, again, coaches, not only a coach for me, but a workshop administrator, as well as Edith. Femi as well, one of our coaches. So I want to thank everyone for all of the work they've done. I have certificates for those in attendance, so we'll take some photos after that. We are rounding up this year, but the program will start again afresh next month. So if anyone is interested or has any tidbits or would like to volunteer with us, please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to have you as we continue on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anthony. And shout out to the Best Fellow Award this year. As a former, sorry, I have to brag about myself one more second. I was the Best Fellow in 2016. So she's in good company is all I'll say. And so before we move to bringing up our senior pastor, would love to bring up Pastor Tolu to give an official thanks. Everybody thanked Pastor Tolu, but now Pastor Tolu wants to give it back to you for being global leaders this year.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really, I wanted to thank the mentors. I didn't want to mention them earlier before they had been displayed for us, but I just really, really want to thank each and every one of you. We know how C-suite leaders are so busy. Sometimes you cannot get an appointment for a year. And instead, we've just been blessed over the years with all the individuals, leaders that, God has brought our way. And so I just want to say thank you. And also thank you to those mentees, because it's a very competitive process. And for you to stay the course means you're serious about your growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we are at the last portion of our event today. And I want to bring up Pastor Olumide. Just a little bit about Pastor Olumide. He stepped into this role of senior pastor at Jesus House, DC in September of 2023 after 27 years of dedicated service and leadership within the church. But before his official title within GHGC, he was following his pastoral calling, and before that, built a successful 34-year career as a doctor of physical therapy and entrepreneur. But above all his accomplishments, he cherishes his role as a devoted husband to his best friend and wife, Shei, and a loving father to their 3 daughters. We've had the pleasure and honestly the privilege of being led by Pastor Olumide at Jesus House, DC. So I'm excited to bring him up as he closes us out for today's service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for coming a bit late. I had another engagement that I needed to be at, so that's the reason. I just want to give God the glory for what indeed we have witnessed here again today. And special appreciation to the leadership of Pastor Tolu Peters. Many years ago, she brought up the idea of the DLI Institute. And not only has she brought the idea, she had been the engine behind running this stuff. She's very passionate about it. And the word I will use is that thank you for your generosity. You set it up not for any personal gain, but the experience that you have acquired in the marketplace, you have brought it together and you've handed it over to the next generation. And I want to thank God for your life. And thank God for those that God has surrounded you with who have helped you to run this as well. The DLI is a vehicle that has helped us to move and to fulfill the mission that God has given to us as a church. Our mission as a church is to raise leaders, and through the vehicle of the DLI, we've been able to succeed in actualizing that mission. Our mission also is not only to raise leaders, but to empower people to be the best that God has called them to be. And through the vehicle of DLI, we've been able to establish that. And the last part of our mission is to foster love, unconditional love. Through the vehicle of DLI, we have had people that God has blessed in their career, and they have come. The best version of giving is by love. Love is an attribute of being generous. How does God show us that He loves us? He gave us His only begotten Son. And that is what DLI has helped us to be able to do. And, we started this having the mindset that it's going to be something that will benefit our members. But looking around now, it gladdens my heart that is now impacting global. It has global impact. People who, one way or the other, do not even have an idea of what Jesus House is all about. People who at one time or the other will never be privileged to obtain a visa or buy tickets to come to DLI Institute physically here, enjoying it all over the world. So it's what God has called us to as a mission, and that is what we're actualizing through the vehicle of DLI. For those mentors who have volunteered of their services, their skill sets, and their talents to give back to the next generation, I want to say thank you for picking up that burden. It's definitely going to cost you, and I know without any shadow of doubt, you've counted your cost before accepting to do it. It's one way by which God has shown or to show that He blesses somebody. The purpose why God has blessed you, why God has put you at the level where you are today, is not for your personal gratification. God has put those skills, those talents, those things in you so that through you, he can minister to the next people. So God wants to show himself to the next generation through you. And I pray that you will remain relevant. The only way by which a river remains fresh is when it keeps flowing. It keeps flowing. It takes and it lets go. It takes and it lets go. And as you donate to the next generation, God will minister to your need as well. And to the mentees who are coming, please take this as a wonderful opportunity. Do not waste the time of your mentors. The truth of the matter is that they are busy. So don't come like a parasite. The parasite only comes to suck, to suck, to suck. So as you are coming in, come with a mindset that you want to be a blessing to your mentor as well. So let it be a mutual relationship, that symbiotic relationship. You are getting and you are receiving. So as you're going into it, don't go into it 100% with the mindset of you going there to get. Find a way, pray about it. How can I be a blessing even to my mentor as well? And at the end of the 1-year program, and I believe without any shadow of doubt, the purpose for which God has divinely connected you together shall be actualized in your lives. Once again, thank you for this opportunity, and God will bless you, and God will take you higher, and the purpose of God for your life shall be actualized in the mighty name of Jesus. So to all the members of the DLI and everyone who have served in one capacity or the other, on behalf of the entire leadership of Jesus House DC, I say thank you. I know we can't have money to pay you in financial dollars, but God will bless you with what money cannot buy. So the time, the skill set that you are invested in the life of other people, God will bless you back in return. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, everyone who came in attendance. There's plenty of food in the back. Please feel free to network, to take pictures, and thank you again. DLI has a lot of different programs and services. We hope you will check us out online, and please join one of our many workshops and programs that we have throughout the year. Happy holidays, and have a happy new year if we don't see you. Thank you.